Hi, it's me again with Corel Roll Tips and Tricks. We got still a problem with the wine box. Let's make this thing 3.22. The gentleman that I'm doing this for, his wood's too thick, and I just suggested sanding. But he's got 80 of them to make, and that's not going to happen. So here's what I'm trying to do. I'm showing you that the wood for these, he says his wood is like between 3.22 to 219 or 319. So that's going to work. You want your males to be outwardly sticking out. So let's just measure this and see what it is. Take the parallel dimension tool, and it's at 3.2. So it needs to be a little bit more. So we're going to set our nudge factor on 0.02. We're going to take the shape tool, grab all these upper ones, and move up ever so slightly. I didn't really see it move. Maybe I'll have to do that again. It did move. You know, I forgot. We're just moving them up so slightly. Now let's take our indexing line and bring it back to this line and bring our parallel dimension tool. Hold down your control button after you start moving it. See, now we're at 3.22. We've increased it to 100. So just do that on all four sides. You know, grab your shape tool, come from the outside in, and see how the ones I want are blue. We don't want the other ones. Grab from the outside, down arrow key. Grab from the outside, as long as the interior ones are not blue. And so we've increased it to what we need. We're done with this. Let's put it out of the way. This one's a little bit different. We got some male parts, but you could skip this step if they're all working. Now, this is a little bit harder just by the way this is drawn. We're going to have to go here and go to Object and ungroup it. And that's what we want. Well, we actually want all that together. So what I'm going to do is for a second, I'm going to change my nudge factor like to 50 millimeters. I'm going to grab the living hinge, and I did it 3 times. I'm going to take my smart fill tool and fill that in 3 times. Left click, right click. I haven't changed anything with the exception I'll be able to manipulate these nodes now. Now remember, it's just the males that we need to move. That's going to cause a little bit of a problem. You know what, in this case, well, we're moving it so little. I still want to move them to the outside, but this is so little, we could move these to the inside, that 0.02. Now this might even be completely not necessary. You could probably get away by, we don't want to make the wine box any smaller. But we made them, so that's not going to matter. Just do that. Just grab all the outside and do that. On all these, and then these down here, just make sure you get them all. And you could probably do all these at one time. I'm just making them a little bit wider. And this, like I said, this might not be necessary, but the other ones are going to be necessary to make this work. So then you do the other side. Here is what the problem is. If we take the smart fill tool and fill that in, this is only 3 millimeters. So we need to change our nudge factor to 0.22. And we're going to grab this, and I would suggest going down. So I'm going to hit the down arrow key, moved it quite a bit. Down arrow key. Now just do that over here to this one. Same thing. So and you need to do these too. Now here we go again with, we can't manipulate them because we have to, let's tell you what, let's just get rid of this one. Just make sure you don't delete any of those other ones. Now, let's say we're done with this one. I'd get it out of the way. Let's say we're done with that. We've done all the sides. We're working on this one. We need to get rid of this living hinge because I think this Smart Fill tool is going to mess it up a little bit. We're going to go group and ungroup. Let's set it back on 50 millimeters. Grab our living hinge and move it out 3 times. Take our Smart Fill tool, nudge it over 3 times or 4, whatever you decided. Left click, right click. And now we can manipulate these. And as soon as you do that, I would delete this one. Then bring this in. These are a little bit different. And so we could grab all these. Well, we need to change the nudge distance to 0.22. And I would not try to do all these at once. Then I would nudge these. Well, we wanted to go down, remember? Do everything the same direction. Then on these, let's go outward. And this is really easy once you get the left on the left arrow key. Now we still need to do these two. Down. Down. These are just cuts. This is the other one. You just need to decide which one you want to go. Let's go outward. Let's go outward. And just to test it, see, this is why you want to use the Smart Fill tool. You can't really measure that. Get it out of the way, and it's 3.22. That should accommodate. But, so once you've got all that done, you got both sides, you've changed the mill, I would still test. And by test, I've showed several videos. Make a duplicate of that, put it over here. Make a duplicate of that, put it over here. I didn't group this together. Control G, Control D to make a duplicate. So there's going to be your working copies. I would actually take a square rectangle, go about midway, take your Smart Fill tool, fill that in, and then left click, right click, make sure it's on the hairline. Cut these 2 pieces out. Make sure these tabs fit in there. So this, this will go right here and fit in there. And then make sure when you put these tabs in here, they're going to fit and stick over the edges. So when you're at a corner, test it, test it, test it. And then if that's good, go with it. But so then what's so easy about this, we've already made one. There's a carbon copy of it. Control D to make another one, because you need all 4 pieces. And then arrange them to get them close as you can together to save wood and everything. And once you've tested, the good thing about this, if I was doing these and having to do that many, the gentleman's going to do 80 of these, I would have my sanding station real near my laser. I'd be cutting one out and sanding the next one. Sand, put it, you could maybe run, depending on what size laser you have, what size, wood you have, you could possibly cut out 3 on your laser, but I wouldn't. I would cut out 1 at a time and be sanding it with a random orbital sander, and then you could actually be gluing it up while the other one's still running and just make a production out of it. I hope that helped a little bit.